Hi, it's Helen Tarrant. So reports as part of due diligence. So building pest reports, same as residential, but the companies who are licensed to do building and pest reports for commercial. Asbestos reports need to be updated every 5 years. So if you've got asbestos in the actual building, you need to have an asbestos management register, updated every 5 years. Fire compliance certificates. So a lot of the things that we find wrong with fire compliance is that because fire compliance is part of your tenant's obligation as well under the lease, most vendors or most landlords will leave it to the tenant to do. Now the tenant's not going to remember that once a year they have to get firewise to come out there and check through to make sure everything is compliant. They might forget about it, and then if there is a fire, your insurance is not going to be covered. So one of the things to do for it is to make sure you actually book in for the inspection, you pay for it, and then you can bill the tenant for it. So you have control over that. Your solicitor is not responsible for your due diligence. So most people think that when they buy a property that the solicitor is responsible for due diligence. They are not responsible for the due diligence on the property. They're responsible for due diligence on the title of the property. So they will make sure that it's subdivided right, the boundaries are there, the title is free, that it can be transferred to you. They're not going to be there to say, show me the financials of the company or your tenant, what kind of capital works has your tenant done, show me the layout, show me the fit out, show me the maintenance. If you don't ask in commercial property, you don't get. So due diligence is not something your solicitor or accountants do. You have to take control of the due diligence process. Your banks will always perform a valuation on commercial property, and it's always a site visit. So in residential, they can do a drive-past visit, they can do a desk valuation, but in commercial property, it's always a site visit. So the usual process with the loans is that you get yourself prepared, so your broker understands where you are, the type of property you're going to be looking at. They already have a few products that they know will be suitable for you. Once you go under contract and an offer is accepted for your property, they start processing the loan. You get to a stage where it's a conditional approval subject to valuation. And then you need to go through the valuation stage before you get a full approval. So that's the stage of the commercial property. And you always have to pay for valuations in commercial property. So that can be anywhere from $500–600, yep, thanks, to $2,000 or $3,000. Once we had a quote for one of our properties that was like one floor but multi-tenanted, and the bank said $6,000. We're like, no way, no way for $6,000 for just walking into like I don't know, there was 10 actually, 10 offices in the same floor. No way. So if the valuation does come in higher, you can actually go back to the panel, get me another quote, because the next quote they got was 3. We're like, yeah, okay, that's more like it. I mean, that was a large property, so it just depends, the valuation and it is your valuation, so you actually do get to have a copy of it, or you just don't get it during the application process. You have to wait for it to be fully approved before they can hand you over a copy of it.